go to Zoom. Click on the arrow. Yep, there you go. Now put, we're gonna start, okay?
Okay. I'm gonna go to chat box.
Hello everybody, Assalamualaikum, and a very good evening to you all. Welcome to our third episode of our Mindful Wednesday series. How is everybody doing? I'm hoping to engage the audience this time. Today's topic is going to be stress management. I'm sure we can all benefit from today's talk as stress is something we can all relate to. Before we get started, I do want to take a second and scout our audience. If you can, please add some comments in the chat box. Any thoughts, any feedback is welcome. We'd like to engage with you all, know who's out there, trying to adapt new ways to communicate, as you know, with COVID going on and us not being able to present to you all in person. It would be nice if we could get some communication going through Zoom. That's it. Everyone's chatting for us. Welcome, as always, it's a pleasure to be part of your company. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, how are you doing? It's good to be with you again.
Likewise.
Okay, so
You know,
I can hear some echo. Can everybody else hearing that echo, or is it just me?
higher the volume. That. Is it better now?
It's better now.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so I know you can tell May is flying by really fast with the need for mental health. Still very important. So I'd like to hear what you have to say about today's topic. Stress management. What's your definition of stress, Jeff?
All right, then. So I just wanted to welcome people to the last Wednesday of Ramadan, man. Ramadan is almost over. To the people out there who are observing Ramadan, and we are only 4 days away, and time is really gone by absolutely super duper fast. And I know that a lot of people were very concerned about, how this Ramadan was going to be for them. But believe it or not, man, Ramadan is over. And I think we have one more Wednesday left in the month of May as we celebrate the Mental Health Awareness Month. And as we're talking about stress, we just want to remind our audience about what is the aim of or during the Mental Health Awareness Month. Number one, we want to fight stigma. Please remember, it is okay, it is natural, it is very human that some of us are going to experience some kind of mental health related issues in our lifetimes. So there need not to be ashamed if any of us or our loved ones is going through mental health related issues. Fighting stigma. Number two, educate the public. And this is what we've been doing, in these Mindful Wednesdays that we have had so far. Number three, which is really important, support people who are going through mental health related issues and their loved ones as well. Number four, which is really super important, to advocate and to promote policies that are going to help people who have mental health related issues as well as their loved ones. So today we happen to be talking about stress. And that is just a household name right now. Everybody is stressed. Everybody is stressed. Everybody complains about being stressed. As I was preparing for this, I found out that actually stress was a word that was not used for humans. It was actually a word that was used in physics. That is how the word stress came into our dictionary. It was only back in 1949 or 1959 that it was introduced as a condition that our body goes through when we experience an external pressure, okay? Or the assumption or the perception of pressure causes stress upon us. So that's what we're dealing with. And that stress or that pressure can either be internal perception or it can be external. Now remember, so stress is the way that our body reacts to either threat or perception of threat. And by the way, stress and anxiety are going to be very, very similar because we spoke about anxiety last time. And that is because they share very similar symptoms. So what happens is that when we perceive that imminent danger, which is part of stress, our body actually reacts to it, which is very, very healthy because our body wants us to fight back or do something about it. The problem is the prolonged, constant attention state that our body is in, that is the problem. And for our body to be constantly in this state where we're very tense, that can actually, it's not only stress, but it can also lead to a lot more serious things as we will come to see, inshallah.
Thank you, Chef.
Interestingly enough, before we get started though, I should point out, usually with me on our topics by asking me how to say the topic of the Wednesday in Arabic. And this time I finally had it prepared and you hadn't asked me.
Oh. See, I intentionally didn't ask you because I knew that this time you're going to know the answer and it's not
I
fun.
figured the one time
I had the answer handy. So should I just test you to make sure that it's the same
term that I have written
on here?
Let's hear it. What is the stress in Arabic, ya Sarah?
التحكم ضغط النفسي.
Say that again.
التحكم
ضغط النفسي.
التحكم في الضغط النفسي.
My instinct is telling me that I'm wrong.
Okay. No.
Am
no,
I off?
You almost did okay. You almost did okay. Yes. No. You did good. By the way, yes, somebody else is telling us that it is.
I read that. I'm trying to figure it out. Let me.
Go ahead, Chef. I'm listening to you. I'm going to try to figure this out.
You're giving me stress. Sarah, you're giving me stress now. See?
Yeah, now I'm under more
Stress because the sound isn't working. I'm sorry.
All right. So that's okay. As we are waiting for Sarah to get herself situated, please remember that when we speak of these things, we're trying to validate people's experiences and we're validating what we are all going through. So please be mindful that if you relate to any of these things, that is perfectly okay, inshallah. And that is what we are hoping to be addressing. So once again, stress is our mental, physical, emotional, and behavioral reaction to any perceived demand or threat. Now, just to make sure that inshallah we understand this well. So remember that when we spoke about anxiety, we said anxiety is usually caused by perceived threat. Stress can either be perceived by perceived threat or perceived demands. And sometimes these demands and threats can be actual and sometimes they can be perceived. Okay. Now, when they are actual, we would say that is natural. That is part of living, and we can still do something about it. And when they are perceived, then what we want to do is that most likely we want to speak about what is causing them. And like I said, so not all stress is bad. Some stress actually is good because it provides us with energy and motivation to meet our responsibilities and achieve our goals. Now there is that demand on us as somebody who has somebody who wants to graduate from college, for example, somebody who wants to get married, somebody who receives a promotion, somebody who's changing their jobs. So to many, this can be demanding, but actually it is welcome. I mean, to go through college, and congratulations to all of our graduates who are supposed to be walking in May. There is a lot of demand there. But now what happens is that in order to meet that demand, you need to be motivated and you have to have the energy. So we would say that is actually good stress. That is a welcome type of stress. At that point, we don't really call it stress. We call it eustress, EU stress, which means that this is actually something that is good and that this is something that we are celebrating. The problem with stress is this continuous experience of feeling overwhelmed, oppressed, and behind in all of our responsibilities. That would be something that is very distressful to us, and that is not something that is usually welcomed by us.
Yes,
Okay.
makes a lot of sense. Yes, thank you. So stress is something that we can all relate to. It does affect everybody.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Time out, time out. We're going to give you some more time to fix the sound. It's still
Is it not
echoing.
working?
I was like actually trying to chime in just so you can hear me and tell me if the sound is working.
Actually, it's not working. So I'll just keep talking now. All right,
Ready?
until you figure it out. Okay. Now, what we look at is what makes something that is stressful. Remember, we said that it is our body's reaction, behavior, emotional, and mental reaction to either perceived demand or threat. So, what makes something stressful? Well, we just said them. Situations that have strong demands. Just think of the mothers who've got multiple kids and each child has their own needs. That would be strong demands. Or situations that are imminent. You really, this is something that is very, it could be life threatening. Or it doesn't have to be life threatening, but it could be life transitions. Somebody getting a divorce, somebody just lost a relationship. Sometimes a situation may be stressful because of the timing, something that is deviating from what we would consider to be normal. Sometimes stress can be caused by ambiguity. Remember what we said about anxiety? We said that anxiety was this vague, unpleasant feeling that we get in when we perceive some kind of threat or fear. Okay, or either something is either ambiguous or something that is outside of our control. So we become stressed out, we would say, for two major reasons. We perceive a situation as dangerous, difficult, painful. Or the other time that we feel that we are stressed out is when we do not believe that we have the resources to cope with the challenge that is at hand. So we would say these would be the two situations that causes us to be stressed. Perception of danger or the fact that we believe that we lack the tools to do this. What are you doing? What are you doing, Sarah?
I figured I'd give people a virtual tour of our agency.
You're just cruising through the office and you're just going to blame it on some poor connection, and that is why we can't hear.
Well, the fact that you're answering me makes me think that you can actually hear me. Can you confirm?
I can't hear you, but I think I know what's going on. You're just trying
Okay.
to better at that. Alrighty. So we are going to continue with that. Okay. And then we have there are many reasons for many of us to be stressed, and these reasons are all around us. There are personal reasons, sometimes there are workplace related reasons, personal reasons, depression, anxiety, family pressure, relationship conflicts, addictions, loss at times. Other significant problems, like everybody else, we may be experiencing stress. A good number of men and women, people who work, would also speak about workplace stress, heavy demands, dealing with loss or limited control. And that, by the way, can also be said about our students as well, where a lot of young men and women will be talking to me and say, like, I just feel that there is a lot of demand on me. There is demand that is by my parents. There is demand that is by my school. There is demand by my teachers. There is demand by my friends. I just feel that, everybody wants a piece of me, and people just really, really feel overwhelmed and they feel stressed at that point. So again, what we're trying to say is that it is okay for people to feel stressed. There are many reasons for a good number of us to be feeling stressed. And again, it does not make us weak people. It does not make us bad people. It really is what it is. It is our body's natural response to demands, to challenge, and to change. And what happens is that every time we perceive anything as a mental strain or urgency or pressure, then we feel that stress. And unfortunately, really, really unfortunately, stress has been linked to many illnesses and diseases that impacts us both physically as well as emotionally. And that is why we want to make sure that we address this issue. And again, as we are waiting for Sarah to join us back, and please feel free at this point to just, chat with us. And that is like, what is causing you stress? And just use one word. Some people say work, it's classes, it is studying, it's relationship with family, it's relationship with friends. It could be trauma, change in residency. It could be my roommate, my childcare, finance, appearance, physical health, not fitting in. Something that, young Middle Eastern kids have been saying, people feeling bullied, not fitting in. Some young